As a child, I dreamed of talking to animals, imagining a world where they could share their thoughts and experiences. However, as I grew older, I realized animals can't speak our language. My disillusionment wasn't just scientific, it stemmed from a harsh reality of how humans treat animals. Instead of cherishing them, we often cause their suffering. This painful awareness shattered my childhood fantasy: how human actions harm animals. Today, more than ever, humans have the power to make a significant impact on the planet and its inhabitants. Unfortunately, many of our actions harm animals in ways we might not even realize. Every single day, countless animals suffer at the hands of human cruelty. According to research, approximately 86,400 animals suffer from human abuse every single second. The magnitude of this statistic is staggering, and it serves as a reminder of how far-reaching human impact is. We rarely see these abuses, but they are happening constantly. The mistreatment of animals comes in many forms: abuse for fashion, forced performances, habitat destruction, and more. While we may think of these issues as far away or disconnected from our everyday lives, they are, in fact, closer than we think. Whether it's the fur trade that kills millions of animals every year, or the destruction of natural habitats due to climate change, human actions are responsible for causing irreversible damage to the animal kingdom. The climate change catastrophe. One of the most pressing issues affecting animals today is climate change. While the effects of global warming and environmental degradation are widely discussed in scientific communities, the impact on animals is often overlooked. Animals are not only affected by changes in temperature and weather patterns, but also by the destruction of their natural habitats. As forests burn, icebergs melt, and oceans rise, animals are being forced to adapt to increasingly hostile environments. Climate change is not a distant problem. It's happening right now. We are already witnessing its effects on wildlife. For example, animals that rely on specific habitats, such as polar bears in the Arctic or penguins in Antarctica, are finding it more and more difficult to survive. As their homes melt away, they have nowhere to go, and they face the harsh reality of starvation and displacement. Climate change is a human-made disaster, and its impact on animals is far more severe than we can imagine. Destroyed habitats and the struggle for survival. When animals lose their habitats, they lose everything: food, shelter, and safety. This destruction is mainly caused by human activities, such as deforestation, industrial expansion, and pollution. Animals that once roamed freely are forced to adapt to unfamiliar, often dangerous environments. Many species struggle to survive, facing hunger, disease, or the inability to adjust. For animals already threatened by poaching or overhunting, habitat loss further reduces their chances of survival, pushing them closer to extinction. The struggle is both a slow and painful process, with desperate waits for death. The cruelty behind fashion. The fur trade is one of the most horrific forms of animal abuse, with millions of animals killed each year for their fur, turned into coats, hats, and gloves. Foxes, martens, and bears are trapped in cages or snares, suffering for days before being killed. The methods of killing our brutal animals are often skinned alive, beaten, electrocuted, or clubbed. This multi-billion-dollar industry thrives on unimaginable cruelty, all to satisfy human vanity. Sadly, many people are unaware of the horrific practices behind their fashion choices. Fur is seen as a symbol of luxury and status, but behind each item is the death of an innocent animal. Ignorance does not absolve consumers from the responsibility they bear for this suffering. The hidden pain behind the spotlight. Animal performances, especially in circuses, hide a cruel reality behind the entertainment. Lions and tigers performing tricks are often confined to tiny cages, unable to express natural behaviors. To make them comply, trainers use extreme methods such as hooks, whips, and electric prods. For larger animals like elephants, their teeth and nails are often removed to prevent retaliation. These animals are subjected to physical and psychological suffering, spending most of their lives in confinement. They are forced to perform unnatural, harmful tricks for human amusement, living a life of constant pain, fear, and exploitation. Cosmetic surgeries on pets. In addition to the cruelty inflicted on animals in circuses and for fashion, many animals also suffer due to cosmetic procedures performed on pets. Ear cropping and tail docking are among the most common surgeries performed on dogs, especially for breeds that are considered fashionable. These procedures, which are often done without anesthesia, are meant to make the animals look more aesthetically pleasing or to conform to breed standards. However, they come at a great cost to the animals. These surgeries are painful and unnecessary, and they leave pets with lifelong physical and emotional scars. Not only do they cause immediate pain, but they also disrupt the natural development of the animal. In many cases, these pets are left disabled, unable to function properly in their environments. What is even more troubling is that, in many cultures, these surgeries are considered normal. People see dogs with cropped ears and docked tails as ideal pets, when in reality, these animals have been mutilated for human desires. The consequences of animal cruelty. The physical pain that animals endure is often compounded by the emotional suffering they experience. Animals are not just mindless creatures, they are sentient beings that feel fear, pain, and distress. The abuse they face can lead to lasting trauma, and many animals carry the psychological scars of their mistreatment for the rest of their lives. Ethically, the exploitation of animals raises serious questions about our treatment of them. As humans, we have a moral responsibility to treat animals with kindness and respect. Yet we continue to engage in practices that cause them immense suffering, whether for fashion, entertainment, or cosmetic reasons. This dissonance between our ethical obligations and our actions is something we must confront if we are to make progress in the fight against animal cruelty. How to make a change? While the problems facing animals today are overwhelming, there are steps we can all take to help reduce their suffering. The first step is to raise awareness about these issues. Many people are unaware of the cruelty involved in industries like fur trading or animal performances. By educating others, we can help foster empathy and create a movement toward change. Supporting ethical brands that do not use animal products is another way to make a difference. Cruelty-free fashion and entertainment choices can help reduce the demand for animal exploitation. In addition, advocating for stronger animal protection laws and supporting organizations that work to protect animals can also contribute to meaningful change. Finally, we must be conscious of our own behavior. From the food we eat to the products we buy, every choice we make has the potential to impact animals. By being mindful of our actions, we can help create a world where animals are no longer victims of human cruelty. The fight for animal rights. The fight for animal rights is a growing movement, one that is gaining momentum around the world. Governments, organizations, and individuals are coming together to push for stronger protections for animals. Through legislation, education, and activism, we can create a future where animals are no longer exploited for human gain. This fight is not just about protecting animals, it's about creating a more compassionate and just world for all living beings. By standing up for animals, we stand up for ourselves, our environment, and our future. Rebuilding our relationship with animals. At the heart of the issue lies empathy. The more we learn about animals, the more we begin to see them as sentient beings with their own feelings and experiences. When we stop viewing animals as commodities or objects and start seeing them as fellow creatures deserving of respect and care, we begin to rebuild the bond between humans and animals. By reconnecting with animals on a deeper level, we can create a future where they are no longer exploited and abused. It is up to each of us to make a choice to stand against animal cruelty, to advocate for their rights, and to work toward a more compassionate world for all living beings. And that's a wrap for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more content that'll keep you thinking. Stay tuned for more. And remember, kindness is always in fashion. See you next time.